I'm not studying at Cambridge anymore because I'm home. Hello guys, how are you doing? Today is another quarantine day, just like any other day these days. And I'm in my room now. This room probably features in one or two other videos from this channel. This has been my room since I was 6 years old, since I first went to school. Now I've just received the email with the examination timetable for my take-home exams. It's going to be 3 of them actually, and the language papers are going to be released in about 4 weeks from now. These are the translation and the text analysis exams. These are going to be released on the 21st of May, and in about 3 days until the 25th at 4 p.m. I'll have to write translation into German, a translation into English, and the text analysis of about 1,000 words. And then I've got my G10, my German culture exam, which is going to be released on the 26th. And I think I'll have to hand it in by the 28th at 4 p.m. again. And that's it for the German part of my exams. Luckily enough, the exam that I was most worried about, the History of Political Thought exam, is going to be assessed as a portfolio. And I'll have to hand in 2 essays that I've already written over the past 2 terms, just a bit brushed up and polished a bit better. I haven't yet got the deadline for that one, but it does not require as much work as the other ones do. Now that I've got these deadlines set, I'm a lot more motivated and a lot more organized about my revision. I've already handed in a translation as homework yesterday, and I've been working on translation this week, almost the entire week actually, because I felt that my skills were a bit rusty with the translation into German, and I wanted to practice a little bit before actually doing the homework, so that the homework was more a reflection of my actual skills, not my rusty skills. That's what I've been doing this week. I will now continue to read and write down the thesis statements from all those texts that we've got for the text analysis. And apart from that, I'll be shifting my focus a little bit towards the culture paper. Now, as I've said in a previous video, for that one I've got to write either 2 essays of 1,500 words or 1 essay of 3,000 words. I'm not sure how this choice is going to work, but this means that I have to prepare at least 3 topics, and I'm aiming to write only 1 essay of 3,000 words actually, because that's what I prefer, and there is one topic that I feel really prepared for, and I want to capitalize on the fact that I know a lot about that topic and that I've received really good feedback from my supervisor for that particular topic. So yeah, I've got 1 more month until the final exams of university at Cambridge, and I'm not studying at Cambridge anymore because I'm home. I'm still a Cambridge student, but I'm at home because the pandemic has changed everything. Now, one thing I've learned during this coronavirus pandemic has been the fact that you need to be flexible. This is the biggest takeaway that I got from this situation. And I've got to admit that never in my entire life have things gone so badly off course, away from the plan that I had in my mind about how things were going to work out. Now, I've got a lot to thank to my parents for this, the fact that everything has always gone to plan. I've never had great difficulties in achieving my goals, and I've never had to go through difficult periods in terms of working towards my goals. So everyone and everything up to now has seemed to work in my favor. And now this pandemic has threatened to change this situation. So when it first broke out about 1 month ago, and it became a serious issue, I was still in denial. I wasn't willing to cancel my flights. I wasn't willing to accept the situation. And then I just had to. And I thought that this can't be possible. Like, I've never seen my plans destroyed like this before. And in time, I've had to learn to accept it. And now I'm really glad I did, because the situation is, for me at least, not really that bad. If no one in my family or among my friends gets sick, which hasn't happened up to now, this is really not such a bad situation, because firstly, because the Cambridge exams are going forward. This means I can get a degree this year and I can go on to my master's next year. By the way, if you want to find out more about my master's plans, drop a comment down below and I'll make a video about it in the near future, because we're in quarantine. What else to do than make videos for you guys? So if there's one thing that I learned from this coronavirus pandemic, it has been to be more flexible, to accept obstacles and work around them, and trust the process a bit more, and have a bit more faith in the idea that everything happens for a reason. Now, I'm a bit skeptical about this belief, but many times I found myself actually trusting this idea that everything seems to come together in the right way and everything happens for a reason. That may be because everything in my life up to now and even now has been positive, and I've never really had great difficulties, and I've never had to question whether this belief applies to me or not, because it's always been this way. Everything has always come together in the right way for me to achieve my goals. And I'm really grateful for that, and I think the best way to be grateful for that is keep working hard, because basically things can come together in the right way for you, but if you don't make the most out of that favorable situation that you're faced with, then there's no point. And I think favorable situations will be less and less if you don't work for yourself as well. So now, after 1 month, the situation seems to be a lot more under control in terms of my future perspectives. I know when the exams are happening, I know how they're happening. I just have to revise properly and sit down and avoid distractions, because at home there are so many other distractions than at Cambridge in my college room or in the library, and I've really got to make an active effort, an even bigger effort than usually, to avoid these distractions. The only things I'm uncertain about are how we're going to receive our degrees and our transcript. I mean, the transcript is going to probably be online, just as it has been up to now for the past 2 years, but the degree, you usually go there in the Senate House in Cambridge, and it's this ceremony which feels a bit like when you're being knighted by the Queen, except that instead of being knighted, you kneel and they say a few words in Latin and give you the degree, and after that you go out, meet your parents, tell them you graduated from Cambridge, which is kind of fun, should be, and I'll probably not live to experience it unless they organize another ceremony at some point in autumn. But I need the degree before that, because I need to submit my degree or a copy thereof as part of my master's application by the end of July. So hopefully I'll get it by then. This is the only thing I'm a bit uncertain about, but for now the focus is the revision for the exams, which are happening in 1 month. So yeah, I'll get some studying done and I'll catch you on the flip side. Hi guys, today is a new day of quarantine. I've just done my workout and had a shower. I try to work out every day because it makes me feel a lot better, and I still feel guilty of leading a sedentary lifestyle. Although I'm generally quite sedentary, quarantine has made me next level sedentary. I used to walk to university or to the faculty building or to the library, but now I'm actually not going anywhere and I'm sitting more than I ever have, although I usually sit quite a lot during the day. So working out makes me feel a lot better about this. It mitigates my back pain, and generally it gives me more energy if I start my day like this. Now, I generally like to work out first thing in the morning because I can have a shower afterwards and eat afterwards. Just a logical way to do it for me. In the meantime, I've also found out the deadline for submitting my history portfolio, which will be on the 25th, at the same time with my language papers, my translation and text and culture papers, that's a text analysis. And I'm not really worried about that. I think I'll have the portfolio ready by the 21st already when I have to start working on my language papers. So now that I know exactly what and until when I've got to do everything, I just have to go and get some breakfast, make a coffee, and then I'll get back to work on my text analysis paper and later on the German culture. Today I'm having eggplant salad sandwiches for breakfast. My grandma made this eggplant salad and I just love it. I've loved it ever since I was a child. And of course the coffee. I've started to put milk in my coffee lately because I find just coffee to be a bit too strong for me, especially if I drink it every day. And then I wash my hands. Gotta do it, guys. Gotta wash your hands. Now, while having breakfast, I try to put my phone away and not stay on social media or read the news at all. And I prefer journaling or going through what I've got to do today, or preferably writing it down. Okay, so I've now finished breakfast and I've come back to my room to start working. The reason for this very colorful piece of paper is the fact that there is a puzzle underneath of 1,000 pieces so that nothing bad happens to it. So this has been it from me this week. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in my next one.